Hi everyone! Welcome to Musicians Inspiring Musicians. My name is Caroline and today I am going to teach you a very easy melody that you can learn right now to play on the ukulele. Before we begin, make sure to print out the music that is linked in the description box below. We are going to be learning a very simple version of You Are My Sunshine. This is a great version for beginners, and even if you're not a beginner, it's fun to learn how to play, and it'll also help you work on your note reading if you are struggling with that, and also with playing melodies on the ukulele, because I know it's very popular to play a lot of chords, which is a lot of fun and great, but I think it's really good to be able to play melodies as well and be able to read the notes and know what notes you are playing. So if this is something you are interested in, print out your music, grab your ukulele, and let's get started. So how we're going to do this is we're kind of going to go phrase by phrase, and I'll go over each phrase and we'll slowly start to put it together. I will review with you the notes we're going to use and where they are located and how to play them in your ukulele, because not everyone might know how to do that. The notes we're going to use for this song, we're using starting on C and we're going to A. So it's not quite an octave yet. So the range is pretty small, which is nice, especially if you're just starting out or you're trying to learn a melody. So you might recognize this song. I know a lot of people do. So it's just a very simple version of You Are My Sunshine. So let's get started. Let's look at the very first phrase. So we are in 4/4 time. So we got 4 beats in a measure, and our quarter note is 1 beat. Our half note is 2 beats, and our whole note is 4 beats. The song actually starts out with a quarter rest. So that is 1 beat of silence. So if you were to play this, you would count 1, 2, and you'd start on beat 2. So in our first little phrase, which is the first 2 measures, we have C, C, D, E, E, and then the E is tied into the third measure. So that note is just going to ring. So just review these first 3 notes. So to play C, it is your open 3rd string on the ukulele. So that's your C, just an open 3rd string. Then the next note, D, you're going to take your 2nd finger on your left hand, so your middle finger, place it on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So the same string you just played C on, now you're going to push down. Don't push down on the actual fret, go behind the fret. So I'm right here like this. That is D. So hold that down and pluck the same string. That's a D. So you have C, D on the 2nd fret. Then your E is the open 2nd string. So we have open C on the 3rd string, D on the 2nd fret 3rd string, and open E on the 2nd string. So that's just your first phrase, the 3 notes that you need. So you need 2 C's, a D, and 2 E's. Now the last E is a half note, so it's going to get 2 beats, but it's also tied to a quarter note in the next measure. It's connected, it's got that little tie. So what that means is that first E in measure 3, you're not going to play, you're going to let that ring. So that E, the last E of the 2nd measure, that falls on beat 3. It rings for beat 4, and it also rings for beat 1 of the 3rd measure. So how about I will play it and count out loud this first phrase. You can either listen the first time or try playing along with me. I'm going to go slow, and we'll try it a few times throughout, all right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's your first phrase. Why don't we try it again? I will count 3, 4, beat 1 will be your rest, and then we'll get going, all right? So remember, C, C, D, E. I'll say the notes with you this time. 3, 4, 1. C, C, D, E, E. There we go, good. Let's try it again and I'll count it out loud. 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Nice. Let's do it one more time. I'll count you in, but I'm not going to count along while we play. All right? 3, 4, 1. There you go. Good job. Now, why don't we move on to the next phrase? So starting on that third measure, the beat 1, that E is tied. So we're not going to play that second note. You never play the second note of the tie. So after that tie, we have another E, a D, another E, and then 2 C's. So then you have a C that is tied on beat 3 of the 4th measure into the 5th measure quarter note. So similar to how that E is tied, now it's just a C. So it's the same length of rhythm that it's tied for. So that's going to be our second phrase. So our second phrase starts on the second E of measure 3, and it's going to go till the C, the quarter note C, that's tied in the 5th measure. So we have E, D, E, C, C. So the same 3 notes we just used for the first phrase, we're now going to use for the second phrase. So let's start on measure 3 on the second E, so that's beat 2. So I'm going to do the same thing I did for the first phrase. I will count 3, 4, 1, because we're not going to play beat 1 when we put this together, and then we'll start on beat 2. So remember, your E is your open 2nd string. Your D is your 2nd fret, 3rd string. Back to your E, and then your C is your open 3rd string. All right? So 3, 4, 1. That's what it'll sound like. So I will play it again, and I'll count it with you. All right? So try playing along. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There you go. Let's try it again, and I will say the notes as we play. 3, 4, 1. E, D, E, C, C. Good. How about one more time, and I will not say anything. I will count us in, all right? 3, 4, 1. There you go, good job. So now we have 2 phrases using only 3 different notes. And I always think, especially for beginners, it's really cool to see that not all melodies have like a crazy amount of different notes. We've just played 2 phrases using only 3 notes. And I mean, they're mixed up in a different order with different rhythms, but it's still kind of cool when you're first starting out, like, oh, I only need 3 notes right here. So how about we go from the beginning to the end of the second phrase? So we're gonna stop where we just did on that C, but we're gonna start at the very beginning. So the first time through, I will count together, and then we'll do it again and I won't count, all right? So from the very beginning, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Nice. Now it's good to work in little sections like we're doing and then put those 2 sections together before we move on. So let's try that same thing again. I will count you in, but I will not count while we play. All right, you can totally count out loud while you play, but I just want you to be able to hear it a little better without the counting. So even though I'm not counting, count out loud, count in your head, tap your foot, do something to make sure you're keeping track of the rhythm. All right, so 3, 4, 1. There we go. Cool. Now we have our first two phrases put together. Now I think you are totally ready to try the next phrase, which is going to include some new notes. So if we look at measure 5, where we stopped, beat 2 starts on a C, so you're good with that. Then you have a D and an E, which you already know. Measure 6, however, we add in an F, so that is going to be on the 1st fret, 2nd string. So your E string, but you're just putting your finger on the 1st fret to make your F, so that's your F, which on the music, it's the note on the 1st space of the staff. So your F. Then on the 2nd space of the staff, after that F, we have an A. So your A is your open 1st string. So that's your open A. So you got two new notes. You have F on the 1st fret, 2nd string, and an open A on the 1st string. All right? So if we start measure 5, beat 2, which is a C, and we take it to the A, that's the next little phrase we're gonna do, all right? So I will count it out loud first. Again, we're gonna start on the 2nd C in measure 5, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4. All right, let's do it again. I'll count a little more that time. 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So in this little phrase, again, we added in 2 more notes. But if you look at it, it's going in order stepwise. C, D, E, F. Then you skip G. But sometimes seeing it just go up in order and kind of realizing, oh, it's just C, D, E, F, one after the other, kind of helps you mentally when you're playing it. So let's try it again. I will say the notes out loud while we play it. Same spot. 3, 4, 1. C, D, E, F, A. All right, let's do it one more time and I'll just count us in, all right? 3, 4, 1. There you go, good. And let's finish out this little bit here where we stopped. You have the A that's tied, then you have another A, then we have a G. So now we're adding in G, another new note. So G, you're gonna take your 3rd finger, your ring finger, place it on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. So this is your G. So that 2nd string, you have open E, which we've done. You have F on the 1st fret. Now you skip a fret and go to the 3rd fret, and that's your G. So that string is E, F, G. So again, in this measure here, we're on measure 7. On beat 3, we have a G. So that's on the 2nd line of the staff. So the beginning of that measure, you have an A that's tied, then you have another A, then you have a G, an F, and then an E. All right, so we have our A, our G, our F, and our E. So again, this is going stepwise, but it's going down instead of going up. So you gotta think, if you start on A, then you'd go to G, then F, then E. So why don't we start there on the 2nd A of the 7th measure, and we'll just go to that E, that whole note E, all right? 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that whole note gets 4 beats if you did not know, so that's why we're gonna let it ring for that entire measure. Let's try that again, and I will say the notes out loud while we play it. 3, 4, 1. How about one more time and I'll just count us in. 3, 4, 1. All right, very good. Now let's put the most recent 2 phrases together before we try the whole big phrase. Okay? And if you need to pause this video and go over any spots, if you're unsure of any phrases, definitely work on them before adding in more phrases and getting confused. You can always pause it, you can always slow it down, work on it in little sections, all right? So why don't we start on measure 5, beat 2, you have that C, and we're gonna go until the whole note E, all right? So this is really using all of the notes you're gonna need in this song. You're going C all the way up to A, all right? And there's no more new notes in this song, all right? So again, we are starting on measure 5, beat 2, all right? 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Nice. How about, let's do it again, and I will say the notes out loud. All right. 3, 4, 1. C, D, E, F, A, G, F, E. Okay. Let's do it one more time, and I'll just count you in. 3, 4, 1. Nice, good job. Now, before we move on, we're about halfway there, maybe a little more. Let's try it from the very beginning to where we stopped, all right? We'll do it a few times. The first time I will count the rhythm just because it's our first time putting all of these sections together, all right? So from the very beginning to the E whole note where we just stopped. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go, nice, that was fun. How about let's play it one more time and I will just count you in, all right? From the very beginning. 3, 4, 1. Nice, good. So we got basically the first half of our little song here. That's very exciting. Now let's look at the second half and we'll break it down slowly again, and before you know it, you'll be playing the whole song. So after where we stopped, after that E whole note, we have a quarter rest just like in the very beginning of the song. So you have beat of silence, and then we have C, D, E, F, A, and then the A is tied to the next measure. So that'll be our next little phrase. So C to A. So again, it is very similar to the phrase before that. You have the same notes in the same order, and the rhythm is the same as well. So this shouldn't be too bad because you've already played it. It's also good when you're learning songs to kind of look for similar spots, because it won't be as overwhelming mentally if you realize like, oh, this phrase is the same as this phrase. I'm just playing it twice. You know what I mean? It won't look as like, oh my gosh, there's so many notes, how am I going to learn this? When you start to recognize things that are the same or even slightly similar, it makes it easier to learn. So let's play from that quarter rest in the middle after the E whole note, from there to the tied A. All right, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There you go. Let's try it again. I will say the notes. All right, 3, 4, 1. C, D, E, F, A. And one more time without me saying anything. 3, 4, 1. There we go. Good. Then we have our next phrase. Right after that, we have another A, a G, an F, an E, which is very similar to, again, the whole phrase before that. However, we have a C after that E, and that C is tied to the C in the next measure, in measure 13. So we're going to take it from the A where we just stopped, beat 2, so the second A, we're looking at the second to last measure of the first line. The second A, we're going to start there, and we're going to take it to the C at the end of that line. Well, technically we're going to take it to the full tie of the next measure. All right, so starting on A, so we have A, G, F, E, and then to C. So 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So that C, you have a half note tied to another half note. So it's going to be held for an extra 2 beats. All right, let's try that again. And I will say the notes this time. All right, 3, 4, 1. A, G, F, E, C. Good. One more time. I'll just count you in. 3, 4, 1. Good. All right. So now we're going to put those two phrases together, which should not be too bad since it's very similar to the phrase before that. All right. So we are going to start on the C right after the quarter rest. And we're going to stop on the C, the tied half note in measure 13. All right. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Nice. Let's try it again, and I will just count you in. All right. 3, 4, 1. Very good, very good. And let's look at the rest of it. You can totally do the rest of it. So where we stopped, measure 13, beat 3, we have another C, we have a D, and we have an E, very similar to how we started. That E, though, is a dotted half note, so we're going to let that ring for 3 beats. Then after that, we have an F, then we have D, D, E, and then back to C. Let's try it nice and slow. I will say the notes first this time, since this kind of moves around a little bit more at the end here, all right? So we're starting on beat 3 of measure 13, so the second C, all right? 3, 4, 1, 2. C, D, E, F, D, D, E, C. All right, let's do that, I'll do the same thing again because it gets a little tricky at the end. 1, 2. C, D, E, F, D, D, E, C. All right. Now let's try the same thing and I'm gonna count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. How about we'll do that one more time and I will just count you in. I'll just give you a 1, 2. All right. 1, 2. There you go. Good. Okay. Before we do the whole thing, let's do the second half. We'll put the second half together. So we are going to start on you have the quarter arrest in the middle. So this is the fourth to last measure of the first line. You have your quarter rest and then our C. So we're gonna start on the quarter rest and take it to the end, all right? The first time through, I will count it. That way you can get the rhythm going, all right? Okay, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Let's do the same exact second half one more time. I will count you in and then you count the rhythm on your own, all right? Okay. 3, 4, 1. There we go, good. All right, that is our song. So I think you are totally ready to put the whole song together. We've done the first half and we've done the second half. Now let's just try putting the whole thing together. And if, you know, it does not have to be perfect right away, it probably won't be perfect right away, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? We're just kind of learning it. I'm helping you get started, and then this is something you can work on your own. You can also come back and reference this video and play along with me again. So let's try it from the very beginning. We'll try it 2 times. The first time I will count out loud just to help you keep the beat, all right? All right, we got this. So from the very beginning to the end. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Good job, good job. Very nice. Okay, let's try it one more time together. I will count you in, but other than that, I'm just gonna play. All right, so try staying with me. If you fall off, something happens, just take a moment and try and jump back in. All right, cool. Okay, 3, 4, 1. There we go, nice. We did it, good job. That was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had fun learning this song with me. So again, when you practice it, what you want to do is work on it in little sections, little phrases, just like we did. You can go over those sections more than 3 or 4 times for sure. Slowly put the phrases together, just like we did in this video. Another thing you can do if you kind of got the hang of it, just playing through it and seeing if there's any spots that give you a hard time. If there's always a spot like, oh, I keep messing up this specific note and this is the only spot. If that's the case, that's the spot you want to work on and drill. So say, just for example, just say the hardest spot for you is in the very beginning, the first 2 measures. Those are the ones you're going to want to keep practicing and practicing and practicing. You want to focus on the hard ones and make them easier. Then you can play the full song. It is way more efficient of your time to focus on the hard spot and fix it and work on fixing it than just trying to play through the whole song and constantly stumbling in the same spot. Because if you don't focus on making that hard spot better, it's gonna take you longer if you're not focusing on it. You know what I mean? You're just gonna keep like trying to play through it and trying to play through it. It's gonna take you even longer versus if you just take a little bit of time and focus on the hard spot. And you might have to do that more than once, like more than one time. You might have to do it for a few days, and that's totally fine. Things take time. There's no rush with this. As long as you work on it a little bit at a time, do a little bit every day, you will see a huge improvement. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you like these little ukulele tutorials of the melodies, please let us know in the comments below. I had a lot of fun teaching this to you. I hope you have a lot of fun playing it, especially if this is like your first song on the ukulele. Please come back to this video if you need to play along anymore. And yeah, I hope you had a lot of fun and I hope you have the best day ever. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!